Director Weller was absent for the biggest FBI tragedy in recent memory.
He was lured away by someone claiming that the mother of his...
All right, we're back because the Weather Service reissued the warning. So again, we are in Clark and Madison County until 8:45. This is going to be areas from north of Richmond through Red House. We're still seeing the worst of this storm around Boonesboro there in Clark County, but again, there could be damaging winds coming through the southern flank of that storm as well. But the storm is approaching Winchester. The warning itself now does include all of Clark County. So again, Winchester is indeed included in this. This is Clark and Madison until 8:45. Fayette County no longer included in these warnings, so these have now been pushed to the south and east of Lexington. So the tornado warning until 8:45 for Clark and Madison County. Again, large hail, and hail may be going to golf ball size with some of this cell as it works its way past Boonesboro there along the river, and it will be continuing into the southern part of Clark County. Extreme northern part of Madison County, they've extended that warning all the way down just about to Richmond. So again, it's a little bit broader feel for this tornado warning, so the possibility that there may be some other vortices, some other places where some spinning may indeed take place. And so that's why the warning has been extended and widened as much as it has, and it's also been extended all the way till 8:45. So again, you're seeing the impressive lightning display with this. Hail, again, is a likely parameter, and again, tornadoes do remain possible with this.
Bill, I'm going to go ahead and give you your rotation there and show you kind of where it's sitting. You do have some interference, but you can kind of tell where that green and that red is lining up. It's just off to the southwest of Winchester. So if there is some rotation, it's likely going to be right there. So do be prepared. If you are in Winchester, you need to be in your shelter at this moment. There is likely going to be some rotation going very close to you within the next few minutes or so.
All right, so again, we've given you a little bit better look at some of the velocity display here, and again, what you are looking for. And we've actually shifted to the Weather Service radar out of Jackson for this. And so it's the idea you're going toward the radar, away from the radar, where you're seeing that bright shading right in there. And that's going to be just southwest of Winchester, is where there is rotation being shown in this cell. And so with that in mind, you are looking at the tornado warning being extended. For you folks in Winchester, you do need to be in your safe spots now. The storm that continues to track away from the river now toward the northeast. We've had no confirmed reports yet of anything, but again, you're seeing the bright shadings right in there where you're converging the toward and away from the radar. And so again, that's a real strong radar indication. There's certainly rotation going on. Whether or not it's making it all the way to the surface, that we do not know yet. And there's the next scan that came in as that storm is moving up now toward Winchester. So again, for you folks there, you guys need to be in your shelters as this storm comes on by. Tornado warning until 8:45 for Clark and Madison County, although the cell we were looking at really is the one that's up in Clark County at this point. With that, you are seeing the hail-producing part of that storm now just to the west of Winchester. If this storm is tornadic, it's going to be just on the south side of Winchester at this point. So again, that's the tornado warning until 8:45. The cell will eventually head toward Montgomery County, but we're a little ways down the road for that. Winchester itself, the storm is passing a little bit to the west at this point of Trapp, although a severe storm is likely headed your way in the very short term. And as you go across the northern part of Madison County, that's going to be just about to Waco with the southern fringe. You see the dividing line there between the severe thunderstorm versus tornado warning, very close to Waco. But again, Red House, Boonesboro, Ford, up toward Winchester, and it's in this area right there by Winchester where, again, if we're seeing any rotation, that's where it's taking place at this point as it heads on up toward, eventually toward the Mountain Parkway there, heads up toward I-64, and you'll see the sweep come through here. So again, lightning strikes have been plentiful. Shelter is necessary and mandatory at this point in Clark County, especially around Winchester, as this storm is coming right up from the Kentucky River toward you. So you got the Mountain Parkway there, 8:45 for this warning. As we've always talked about with shelter, it's downstairs, you're under something big, heavy, and sturdy. It protects you from debris that maybe you've flown around at 100 miles an hour. Center part of the house, use walls of your house as layers of protection. And K is keep your head down. Keep away from doors and windows, things that are kind of obvious. But duck will help you find your safe spot, something we talk about in every Bills Weather 101. But 8:45, particularly for Clark County. New severe thunderstorm warning just got issued for Madison County. That's the orange you just saw pop up there. So again, the storm is now well east of Lexington. Severe thunderstorm is moving in toward Richmond. We heard that they were evacuating the Eastern Kentucky Center for the Arts there, EKU Center for the Arts in Richmond during a performance, getting folks to shelters there. Up at UK, my daughter said they were trying to get them at the library into shelters, although the storm was never really a threat at the library there. So again, you're looking tornado warning, that's the severe thunderstorm warning for Madison County, and that's going to be in effect until 9. But it's the tornado warning, so it's that area right in there, right just south of Winchester until 8:45. Anything on the velocity display still?
Yeah. That way you can show the rotation happening.
Okay, so here we go. That's why we are here. So you've got away from the radar site toward the radar site. So there is your counterclockwise spin that the radar is indeed picking up. A little broad, but it's still, especially right there just on the southwest side. Looks like right in there just now on the northeast side of Winchester, you're seeing again the potential for rotation on this, and it looks like it's begun to accelerate as well. So accelerating off to the northeast and headed eventually toward Montgomery County. So that is the velocity displays that we're looking at. The tornado warning is going to continue until 8:45, and that is for Clark and Madison County. Have they said anything about Madison County at all?
Not in terms of Madison County. There was a little bit of an update regarding what could be happening in Clark County, as they could be seeing wind gusts over 70 miles per hour and also hail up to the size of golf balls. And the reason they have included Madison County, at least in this tornado warning, is to kind of just include the end of the line of this tornadic thunderstorm that we're continuing to track at this point. Again, no confirmed reports of the tornado on the ground. We are still tracking the Doppler radar indicated rotation that we're starting to continue to see into Clark County. But in regards to the severe thunderstorm warning in Madison County that continues until 9 o'clock tonight, you could be seeing 60-mile-per-hour gusts and also quarter-size hail as the storm is moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour right now between Richmond and Boone.
It's right that sharp gradient right in there, southeast of Richmond, east of Richmond, where if this is producing some damaging wind, that's likely one of the places that it's going to be. Also, you're seeing a little bit of an inflow notch back here where there could be some strong winds going into the backside of both these cells. So what Jill was explaining there, and that disembodied voice you're hearing was Jill Swed, meteorologist Jill Swed. You sometimes will see some spinning on the back edge of a squall line, and so you're seeing that coming into Garrett County at this point. They included Madison County at the tail end of that, but again, we're watching the cell heading off toward the northeast, up toward Winchester. 8:45 for the tornado warning for Clark County. At this point, it looks like if the storm is tornadic, it has at this point moved past Winchester and is approaching the Mountain Parkway and I-64 on the northeast side of Winchester. So that's where if the cell is tornadic, likely where it's going to be at this point. So on the update here, again, there you got the Mountain Parkway, you got I-64 right there. At the merger point is where we're seeing the potential for rotation, at least as measured by the Doppler radar at this point. So that is where the storm is at its most severe. As you look back to the western part of Clark County, you guys are likely out of the worst of the storm and can come out of shelter. But again, from Winchester eastward in Clark County, we continue to track the threat there for you of a rotating thunderstorm. Squall line, likely with damaging wind gusts, now approaching Waco in eastern Madison County. Same idea with damaging wind gust potential, eastern part of Clark County as well. But the tornado warning itself is for Clark and Madison until 8:45, although I'm, again, surprised they haven't pulled Madison out of that at this point. But again, the area that we have been tracking has been moving to the northeast. It's been turning left compared to the rest of the line. So that is working its way now up into the northern half of Clark County. It's approaching I-64 at this point. 8:45 for that particular tornado warning, and again, that's why we're here, is because the warnings have been issued by the National Weather Service, and that's part of what we do is we keep these folks warned. I know a lot of folks in eastern Kentucky, you have not seen a thing out of this. Your chances for strong thunderstorms will arrive later on, but the next go round, it might be out here, instead of here. And so over time, everybody averages out, and we interrupt everybody's programming at one time or another. And that's just the way, the nature of the beast. But again, the storms are continuing through Clark County until 8:45. The severe thunderstorm extends back into Madison County and Garrett County as well. Damaging wind gusts, likely some hail there right along Highway 52. It's going through the Bluegrass Army Depot at this point as we are watching that head down toward Kingston and eventually toward Berea. A lot of lightning with this. And that severe storm continues up into Clark County. Again, the tornadic part, if it does continue, is likely now just to the east of Winchester, very close. And again, it's going to go until 8:45. Social media, saying anything?
However, well, I guess I should take that back. I have seen something. There was a photo that we received out of Winchester with some small hail. Kind of hard to see, at least from this perspective of what the size of that hail was. Certainly not quarter size, which make it a severe threshold, but we are seeing some hail within that thunderstorm in Clark County as well at this point.
They are talking about, I was looking some stuff out of Jackson, that they will not be, at least at this point, extending the tornado watch into eastern Kentucky past the 10 o'clock time frame, but they are continuing the tornado warning, and that's 10:48. Clark and Madison till 8:45. That's they're saying tornado warning continues. Not much other specifics, so we're having to glean together what information we can, other than the fact to keep you advised. Go ahead and ask them on their, and it's going to be some rotation. I see what they're showing. Okay, we know where they're looking. Well, it's the northern part of Madison County. They're well north of Waco. There could be a little bit of rotation there, but again, it's not as strong as what we're seeing up toward Clark County as well. So that's the bottom line on all of it. So until 8:45, the folks in Louisville, National Weather Service office there in Louisville, is saying tornado warning is going to continue until 8:45 for Clark and Madison counties. Although the bulk of the storm now looks to be eastern Madison County, there could be a little rotation as you come down right in here, very close to the Estill-Madison County line. There may be a little bit of rotation that we're seeing on the Max Track Live in there as well. We're getting that little bit of a notching right in there, but that's a subtle feature. But again, that's the warning that continues until 8:45.
Interrupt you,
please do.
But we're getting some reports. This is from the National Weather Service in Louisville. They have received multiple reports of funnel clouds and damage within this rotating thunderstorm that we're still monitoring in Winchester right now. Also, just getting a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is coming out of the Jackson National Weather Service office. This is going to be for Bath, Estill, Fleming, Menifee, Montgomery, Powell counties. This will be until 9 o'clock, so at the top of the hour. Within that severe thunderstorm that we're tracking right now, you could be seeing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, also the possibility of half-dollar size hail within that severe thunderstorm. So we'll pull that up here.
Yeah, I've got it highlighted right there on your screen. As you can see, the arm of that warning is extending, but it's obviously the cell, or I should say the line, that's now moving its way through Clark and will eventually start to make its way. It's even a little bit of southern Bourbon at this point, but really that area that had the tornado warning still has the tornado warning in effect until 8:45. As that progresses eastward, we're still talking about severe thunderstorm criteria, and that's almost 70-mile-per-hour wind gust is almost hurricane force winds. So you got to realize this is some pretty strong stuff that's about to roll through.
Yeah, and I was looking for any specificity on the damage that you were talking about there that came.
Yeah, they were very generic and actually weren't giving too much in terms of the damage that they're seeing in Winchester, except for they've received a couple, I guess, phone calls